Oh my goodness, that was loud. Hope everybody's having a good day. Thursday or night or whatever time it is. What time is it? 9 o'clock? I'm on time. What do you know? Actually, I had the kids in bed an hour early tonight. It's been fantastic. Hey, Joe, what do you know? Hope everybody's enjoying their Thursday. I've been having a good Thursday. Did a live on Discord today. Talked to a couple of people. Went chatting, chit-chatting. For those that want the Discord link, it's in the description down there. If I find it, I'll post it. But I'm awful finding stuff. Let's see.
Have you considered?
Let me see if I can find it. Show more. Discord is here. There we go. So, let me send it to the chat. There's Discord for anyone that wants to join. Like I said, it's in the description of all my videos. So, if you're interested in joining, click the link. Come hang out, chat with us. I was actually on my way home today, and Discord's got this feature where you can do like voice chat, kind of like telephone. And so I sat it in with my AirPods in my ear and drove down the road, had it in my ear, talking on it like a cell phone, chatting with people about pest control. So if you think that you got any questions or anything that you want to ask me over there and you can't quite remember what it is, or you know, you come up with something later, maybe after the show, and you didn't catch me live, then head over to Discord. I'm always on there. People will tell you I don't ever sleep. People talk on Discord. I'm on there all the time. So, chatting and reading and learning from people. Well, thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. Nobody has to give me no money. I'm here just to chill. I'm here just to chill out. Thursday night. Got my water bottle. Gonna talk about some bugs or whatever y'all want to talk about tonight. I didn't really have anything in particular I wanted to talk about tonight. So, whatever you guys want to talk about. You don't have to, Kenju. Kenju, you already a member and everything. So, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Nobody, y'all don't have to pay me nothing. Y'all don't have to donate or nothing at all. I'm just happy to be here to chat. Hang out. That's some on my pants. Who knows? With kids, you find food and all kinds of crap on your clothes. So, I'm tired. Anybody else tired? I'm tired. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Let's see here. I got a stuffy nose. What are we talking about tonight, people? Let's talk. Let me turn on my phone if anybody wants to call. A Hawaiian news channel did a story about bedbugs. They're trying to pass some laws to help deal with them there. Like, what kind of law are you going to pass so the bedbugs are going to abide by? Let's see. Let me turn this off. I don't need that on anymore. Oh, yeah. Skype. I'm tired. I gotta remember what I'm here doing. And it wants to update, of course. Good evening, Jason. Do you usually start 9 or 9:30? I start when my kids are in the bed and I think about it. And I don't forget. So, between 9 and 9:30, sometimes even 8 o'clock if I can get on that early. I used to have people that would be on from England, and it's really late there. So 9 o'clock it would be, let's see, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. It'd be 2 o'clock in the morning there. And so if I can get on earlier, I try to, because I do have audience out in England, and I like to be able to chat with them too if I can. What about landlords would have to do in case of bed bugs? Oh, I see what you're saying. The law's out there. Hold on, let me mute my desktop audio. Is it playing music? Can y'all hear music? It's like got some horrible feedback going on. Let me see if I can get something playing here.
Consider going solar in Virginia.
Well, there we go. I fixed it. All right. Let me turn off my desktop audio real quick. I'm going to listen to a voice message. Well, they hung up. They hung up. They didn't leave a voice message. Said they did, but they didn't. So. Do you have an infestation when you notice large bed bugs? Yes, typically. If you have any bed bugs, that would be what I would consider an infestation. If you have bed bugs, you have bed bugs. There are different levels of infestation. You have extreme cases where you've got thousands upon thousands, and then you've got very mild cases where you may have one or two. But an infestation is an infestation. That's how I feel. You got to kill them all. You don't leave one. One is too many. Yeah, thank you. It like I don't ever remember to ask people to do that. I do on all my videos. I always tell people, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you really like it, consider subscribing to the channel. And I never say it on my live because I never think about it. I'm not really in the routine. Like when you do a live stream, I'm sitting here, I'm hanging out with you as if we were in the same room, living room, whatever, together, just chit-chatting. But when I do my videos for like Tuesdays, when I release those, which I haven't done one in a long time, but to tell you the truth, I got major writer's block. I've been exhausted. I haven't had a lot of time to do anything. I've been working on taxes every free chance I get, which is obnoxious because I hate them. And so I just haven't had a chance to get on and make a video in a long time. But yeah, I do have a video on gnats, fruit flies. It's pretty good. Do you have a live stream often? I live stream every Thursday night. So typically after 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, something like that, every Thursday. Unless I'm sick, or unless the kids are sick, or I have an emergency call. So I'm 24 hours. Here's my phone. It's my work phone. If it rings and people call me and they need me, I go out to their house. I take care of it. I have had live streams interrupted before by having to run out on an errand for someone. So that's the only thing that usually will keep me from a live stream. I've been watching your videos today, and I've noticed that you hate the DE, and I just purchased it and used it before I watched your videos. The thing about diatomaceous earth is it's more dangerous than people like to admit. That's the problem. It's a silicate. So silicates is a family of like liquids or water. Okay.
Okay.
Or take my watch off so it doesn't start talking to me. So liquid. Water is a liquid. Oil is a liquid. Strawberry juice is a liquid. Strawberry. Why did I say strawberry juice? I could have said apple juice or orange juice, but I said strawberry juice, which just doesn't exist, I don't think. But anyway, Coca-Cola is a liquid. Diatomaceous earth is a silicate. Sand is a silicate. Cemexa is a silicate. Silica is a silicate. So And the reason I say that is because DE is not just diatoms. There are other ingredients added to the diatomaceous earth, even food grade. It's not strictly diatoms. It's diatoms plus typically like silica powder. All right. The problem is that stuff, silica powder itself, can actually cause lung cancer. It's not healthy to breathe it in. People are haphazard with it. They'll say, well, when I applied it, I wore a mask. But, you know, the thing is, yeah, when you apply it, you wear the mask. But every time you sit on your furniture, you're going to puff it in the air. You're just going to live in a mask in your house the rest of your life. It's not safe. That's why I tell people not to use it, because it's not safe. It kills bugs. I've used it as a wettable powder inside my B&G. When I spray it in a crack, the powder goes in the crack. Doesn't go anywhere else but in the crack. When the liquid dries up, it leaves a dry powder behind. Diatomaceous earth. All right. Diatomaceous earth is one of the only dusts that you can get wet, have it dry out, and it still work. Most insecticide dusts will not work that way, but diatomaceous earth does. So that's the only way I usually recommend people use it. It's inside a wall void. You know, if you've got an outlet cover, take your outlet cover off, dust in the outlet, and put your outlet cover back on. You know, so the dust is sealed in the wall. It's not out around you where you breathe it in. That's the only way I would ever use it. It's also one of the active ingredients in alpine D dust, which is what I use for yellow jackets. So it's not a horrible thing. I don't hate it. It's that I hate when people try to act like it's the end-all solution for bugs when it just isn't. So Joe, let me show you my video. So I have a video. Let's see. Let's look at this guy. His guy, he's trying to sell me solar because I live in Virginia, and YouTube is catered to where I live, right? That's how they advertise to me. So you'll have to excuse me. I'm getting over a cough. All right. So these are all my videos. I got tons and tons and tons and tons of videos, lots of bedbug videos. But I do have fruit flies or gnats in the house. So if you look fruit fly, search fruit fly. See, this is my channel. So while you're here, click the subscribe button. Subscribe to me so you can make sure you don't miss my stuff. Hit the notification bell and stuff. But see, here's the fruit flies. All right, this is this is for fruit flies right here. So if you click this, no thanks. All right. So let me see if I can find it. Here we go. All right. Thanks. Appreciate it, Jason. Oh man, the time. Shoot.
Works really, really well.
Hold on.
And
Let me
so
start
what
over.
you do is you make a funnel out of paper and you tape it together so it's a. I
There.
wanted to show you what I've
Let's
been
start
doing
over. Sorry about that. I didn't have any sound.
Probably better part of 15 years to catch fruit flies. So this is my trap. It's a glass with a funnel in the top. And now it don't look pretty. You know,
No, it
it's
don't.
not meant to look pretty. It's just meant to catch bugs. But what happens is the flies will fly down the funnel. Now it's been sealed with packing tape. That is not Scotch tape. That is actually the type of tape that you would use for like packing a box, like if you were going to move, or you know, that you want to hold cardboard together with. Works really, really well. And so what you do is you make a funnel out of paper and you tape it together so it's a nice, good funnel. And there's a fly right there. He's about to go down in there right now. But this is a time of year where people are bringing fruit flies in the house. Bananas, citrus, orange, and sorry, I'm holding my camera. That's why it's doing such a horrible job. It's so shaky. I don't really have a tripod that'll fit on my table right here. But I wanted to show you how to make these. So it's a glass. Now it's little purple right there on the end of that funnel, and that's because I used wine. So what you do is you make a funnel. You fill it. The way you fill it is you do it with the. You want to have about 1 inch between the level of the wine and the tip of the funnel. Now what happens? Now I poured it after I put it together. I taped it all together. I put it all together, and so the flies are really flying around it now. I just sat it here on the table, so it's not quite. It had been long up.
So
there's one right there. If you'll look.
So let's pause that. So now that's the fruit fly trap that I made. I don't know, maybe about a year or so ago. I made this video, and within 24 hours, that cup was full of flies. So that's what I recommend people use. It works really well. I've actually made these little traps just like this and set them out in restaurants, and it's been able to do better than any kind of fly machine, or anything like that. So anyway, that's fly traps that I recommend. I don't recommend sitting out a dish with dish soap in it. I don't recommend using those little apples that you buy at the store. This is really simple. Anybody can make this. It's really easy, and it works exceptionally well. And you can make it from stuff you just have in your house. So, but somebody had asked about Skype. You're welcome to call in. I'm having a little bit of problems keeping the app open. It wants to keep shutting down on me, but go ahead, give it a shot. If you want to call in, call in. I have no problem if you want to Skype in. That's the phone number on the screen. So if you want to call me, call me. I have had my mattress in a full enclosed mattress covering since the day it was delivered to my home. Now that I have bed bugs, should I take it off before treatment and leave it off? If it's never been off, and it doesn't have any rips or tears in it, I would leave it on to protect your mattress, whatever. You can always remove them, wash them, and put them back on. So, I don't recommend a waterproof mattress cover to treat your mattress with a pesticide. So if you've got like a plastic cover or something like that, treating your mattress with that, it's not going to stay on that covering. But if it's a cloth covering, it will. So, but this video was actually put up, let's see, it says November 16th, 2021. So it's been 2 years. Well, a little over than a year that I made that video. So I thought it would have more views. I thought it would get more views than it did, but it only got 800. So not very many. But everybody asks about fruit flies, so I made a video about fruit flies. But yeah, Huss Ali, if you want to call me on Skype, don't hesitate. Number's on the screen. If you want to call me and ask me questions live, you can. I'm here to answer your questions. I don't mind. So, I'm not going to be here all night. I'm just going to be here a little while. I got to get up really early tomorrow. I got a school I got to treat first thing in the morning, so I won't be here too much longer. But I'm going to try to stay on an hour. I usually do an hour show, and then I head on to bed. So, on days I don't have work the next day, I stay on a little bit later. But tonight I'm not going to be able to stay on much more than an hour. But the problem with anything other than the paper with the tape for the fruit fly trap is that the flies can find their way out. They can't find their way out the funnel if you make it that way. But terry cloths that people do, what do you call it? The saran wrap and stuff that people do, the flies can find their way out. And they do. They do find their way out. There we go. Hello. This is Jason with Green Acres Pest Control. How can I help you? Can you turn down your computer sound so I don't echo? Hello? Can they not hear me? Hold on. Let me see. Maybe it's my settings. Test audio. Oh. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Now it's working. Now it's working. I can hear you now. Sorry, my microphone was cut off on Skype and you couldn't hear a thing I was telling you. Can you hear me? Hello? Oh, they hung up. That's probably my fault. Call back. Sorry. 98% of a live stream is technical support. I'm sorry. You're welcome to call back. I wish you lived in Texas. I don't. Texas is a nice place to visit, but it's a lot hotter than Virginia. All right, let's try this again. How are you? This is Jason.
There we go. I can hear you.
Yeah, my microphone gets muted every single time I have to re-upload Skype or reinstall Skype or whatever. It always changes all my default settings. But yeah, I'm doing all right.
Okay.
How are you tonight?
I'm pretty good. Let me start off by saying I watched your video about 2 weeks ago, and I wanted to tell you I hope your back healed up okay.
Oh, it's still sore, but it's just, I injured it years ago, and it just flares up from time to time. But what's going on with you? What you got a question about?
Okay, so I'm calling because the past couple of days I've been watching your videos, and recently, about maybe 5 days ago, I realized that our house had bed bugs. It's only a one-bedroom apartment.
Okay.
And I called an exterminator and went through them. Now, they did use Crossfire. I watched your videos on Crossfire and everything. They did use it, but the thing I'm calling about is I wanted your professional opinion. I was still, a little scared or worried about them, and I had my ideas of where they were coming from. And truth be told, I used to literally stalk them, see where they'd go back, once the lights were on, or I shine a flashlight on them. And pretty much what I would see is the places that the exterminator came in and sprayed with Crossfire, those are doing good initially. I found a bunch of dead ones. I cleaned up everything under the bed. Now, I don't know how I can explain my bed frame. It's the bed is elevated. There's drawers on the sides, and then above where your head goes, there's 2 drawers and this little kind of bed frame.
Okay. Yeah, I understand.
Now, I pulled the bed out and I checked behind there because he didn't spray there. So I was like, you know what? I feel like I had a gut feeling that they were coming from there, and I checked there for both beds. And I did find live ones. They were just kind of sitting there, going about their business. Probably more within the little wood holes. But so I found there on both beds. And also, I checked the beds throughout the night with a flashlight. I found some walking along the bed, kind of still alive, or walking. I found on the corners of the roof where the wall meets the ceiling of the room.
Yep.
Along there. And basically after I watched your videos yesterday, and thankfully somehow my luck was good and you were going live today, so I thought I'd call in.
Okay. Yeah, I saw where you said you were going to call in live.
Crossfire.
I'm
sorry, I cut you off.
As I see every comment that people make, and I noticed where you said you were going to call in tonight.
Yeah.
But
pretty much I'm calling because I want your opinion. Honestly, what would you do? What would you have me do?
It sounds like, all right, so one thing about Crossfire, and this is one of the things, now Crossfire is a really good chemical. It works really, really, really well. The problem is that it's not instant. So even when you treat with Crossfire, it takes days for all of the bed bugs to die. Bed bugs don't come out every single day to feed on you. So they're not going to be exposed to the chemical every day. Now, when you treat a house, so you're going into a room and you're treating a mattress and you spray Crossfire directly on bed bugs, those bugs are going to die. They're going to die probably within 5 minutes of being in contact with the chemical. That's really effective. You kill as many as you can find, kill as many as you can. And that's going to reduce the bites that the customer is going to get that night. Then you just have to explain to people that, when it's dry, it doesn't kill as quickly. It does still kill them, but it doesn't kill very quickly. It takes time. And after it's dry, it may take an hour or so for a bed bug to die after it's crawled through it. After a week, it may take, several hours. They're still dying. The point is that they die before they lay eggs. They die before they can reproduce. And they die before they can molt, even. If you've got, the nymphal stages where they molt several times before they become adults, they die before they even become adults. So you stop the life cycle. You actually cut them off. You stop them from reproduction. And eventually, within, several weeks, they're all dead. but it's one of those things where you will still see bugs. It's not uncommon to still see bugs after a treatment. Now, if he didn't pull the bed away from the wall and treat all up behind the headboard and treat all of that stuff too, then that's oversight. You know, he really should have done that. I know the kind of bed you're talking about. I mean, really, the way I picture it is like an old school waterbed, where the waterbeds have the little cabinets and stuff behind the headboard, and some of them even have drawers on it and stuff like that. You have to pull all that stuff out. You have to treat all that stuff. You have to treat all the cracks, all the crevices. It's a bed. Every part of the bed needs to be treated as thoroughly as possible. Typically, what I do, if I can, it depends on the space I've got to work with, but I typically like to pull the bed away from the wall anywhere from 6 inches to a foot, just to ensure that it forces the bed bugs that may be in the wall or on the wall or maybe behind a picture frame or something like that. It forces them to crawl all the way down the wall and come up a bed leg, rather than maybe touch a skirt or a sheet or a comforter or something like that and get a track into the bed without having to land on a surface that's actually treated, because you want them to have to crawl over a treated surface.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like he wasn't thorough enough. Like the fact that he uses Crossfire is amazing to me, because a lot of exterminators won't even use Crossfire. But that's a good thing. That's not bad. That actually sounds good to me. It means that he's actually trying. But, you know, if he's not going to be thorough enough, you know, did you get any kind of guarantee or anything like that?
The only guarantee I got was that if they need to do a retreat, is that it would be half off.
That sounds like me. I do the same thing.
Yeah, and at first I was good with that, but then I kind of pieced together that he was thorough, right, where the initial spot was in like the back corner of the room.
Right.
He was thorough there. He did spray pretty well there. He sprayed around that bed very well. Now there's a bed on the other side, which is my bed, and that's the one that I initially checked, because I just put two and two together, and I pulled my bed out. I saw them alive on the back, and I pulled the other bed out, and I saw them alive on the back, and I also saw eggs that they laid. Right. And I cleaned all that up. Did as best as I can with that, and then I instantly, went back to your videos, watched your videos. I watched your review of Crossfire, your honest opinion. I watched your most recent, and then I was going to watch today how to apply Crossfire, but I never got the opportunity to.
Okay.
But I did buy Crossfire, and I also did buy the sprayer, like the mist.
Right.
And I'm like, I want to do the procedure, follow the label, mix it with the water, and then spray the behind of the beds, spray the top corners of the wall across, along where the wall and the ceiling meet, all the way across. I also want to spray more in the closets, because I feel like you didn't focus a lot there. And also another fact, because I've been paranoid because of it. This is my first time ever dealing with like a pest, so I'm very paranoid. And I've been checking the wood going along the bed frame the entire time, and I've seen them within the nails on the top.
Yes, they do that.
Yeah, I've kind of seen them laying there. I cleaned that as much as I could. And I've been doing honestly everything I can. I know for a fact though, it did slow down. The infestation definitely went down.
How long has it been since you treated your apartment?
I'll give you the exact date. It's been, it's on my mail right here. Let's see. Service report that he sent to me, it was last Sunday. It's been about, what has it been, 5 days?
Oh, so it hasn't been that long at all. You got plenty of time for Crossfire to still kill the rest of your bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's got a 30-day residue, so it will kill bed bugs for 30 days.
Yeah, it's just that I'm worried about the behind the beds. If I can spray that with Crossfire and the other spots that I mentioned, like.
Yeah, it's not gonna hurt. You could.
Not gonna hurt. So you think?
I would still probably give it at least a week or so before you treat, and you could even do like so. This is one thing I recommend for people that watch my channel. If you've got like an extreme case and they're really bad, the thing is that the whole point of spraying for bugs, whether it's bed bugs or ants or whatever it is, you don't want the bugs to bother you anymore. And the whole point of bed bugs is they're going to bite you. The further out from the original treatment you get, the more likely you're going to get bit again, because the bed bugs can make it further into the room, they can make it further into your bed, and they can bite you. So what you do is what I recommend people do if they're really, unnerved by bed bugs. They don't want to wait a month to treat again, to do it like every 2 weeks. And so if you give it like a 2-week basis, like not this Sunday, but maybe next Sunday, treat again, you just go through and treat everything like they did. And just do it the whole bed, pull the bed away from the wall and treat it all. And that way you're going to get a booster treatment on what's already been done. If you're using Crossfire anyway, it's the same thing they used. And it's not going to hurt to do it. And that's what I would do. Personally, if it were me, that's what I would do. And that way you get the longest term, the longest lifespan out of the chemical that you're actually applying. Because you've already got Crossfire that they applied, plus you're going to apply it yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I just didn't want to make the mistake of putting too much and having them, I think it was called, like, they get resistant to it.
I've never had problems with resistance to Crossfire. I honestly think that the people who claim that they're getting resistance to Crossfire, they're either not mixing the chemical correctly, they're not applying it correctly, or they're reinfesting their house. Because that's the thing that a lot of people don't know. In fact, when I go into homes that have bed bugs, and I ask people, I'm like, how do you think you brought the bed bugs in the house? A lot of people just have ideas. They don't know for sure, or they have no idea how they brought them in the house. And if you don't know how you're getting bed bugs in your house, you're more likely to get bed bugs again and again and again, because you're making the same mistake that you made originally that got you bed bugs in the first place. Whether you went somewhere that has them, or someone's house, or the same hotel, or wherever you're going. Maybe you're hitching a ride with a friend to work. Maybe you're carpooling with somebody that has them in the car. You don't know. See, that's the problem, is that you don't know how you're getting the bed bug problem. If you don't know, then how are you going to prevent it in the future? So, that's what I find most of the time. I mean, you got the bed bugs for a reason. All right, something happened that caused you to get bed bugs. What was it? That's what you got to really ask yourself, and just don't do it again. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Man, it's tough. I got to go through to see where anyone's coming to the house, or if I've been anywhere.
Well, what you do is you look at the numbers that you've got. This is how I do it. Is if you go into a house, if I went into a house and I flip up a mattress and box spring, and let's say I find 10 or 15 bugs. That's not a lot. That's just a few. I assume they've had the bed bugs for 2 to 3 weeks, 2 to 3 months. I'm sorry. If they have, 50 to 60, I assume anywhere from 3 to 6 months. Anything beyond that is 6 months to a year. So if you open a mattress up or a box spring or whatever, and you find over 100 bugs underneath the bed, you assume they've had them for 6 months to a year. And the reason that you figure it that way is because from the day the egg hatches, it takes a bed bug anywhere from 45 to 60 days to become mature to where they can lay eggs. That's a long time. So those eggs have to mature, and then their eggs have to mature. So once you get a fair number, then you really start the population boom. You start seeing hundreds of bugs. You start seeing them during the broad daylight. You'll start having them maybe even in your dressers and other places, because the numbers are just getting to the point where they're exploding through the house. But that takes months to get to that point. If you're getting them up around the ceiling and stuff too, I would figure that it was probably somewhere you went or someone that came over within the last 3 to 6 months. And so that makes it easier to kind of count, to say, well, let's see, 3 months ago, that would have been around Christmas time, or Thanksgiving. Who did I have in the house that I don't usually have over? Or, and you can kind of reduce it down, and it makes it a lot easier just through process of elimination. Where did I go? What did I do? Did I get on a plane? Did I get on a metro? Did I get on the bus? What did I do? And it's easier to kind of narrow it down where they came from.
The only problem with that is that I live in an apartment complex.
So they may have come from a neighbor. See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
If you live in an apartment, they'll come from neighbors' apartments. That happens all the time. They had an article that the Department of Agriculture in Virginia put out several years ago about, exterminators that treat apartment buildings for bed bugs, and how the landlord will call them in to treat for bed bugs, and they'll only treat one unit, and they don't treat any surrounding units. They don't do, and then it's like, well, this is causing the problem, because if you don't treat the unit that has the problem plus the ones that are surrounding it, how do you know the bed bugs didn't move from one to the other? You have to do it all, because you're just perpetuating the problem. Basically, what you're doing is you're stirring a big pot, and the bed bugs just move around, and it just eventually they get right back to that apartment they were in. Give them a few months, they'll be right back in there again. So you're really not being the solution; you're being part of the problem.
So tough. Yeah.
But in issues like that,
annoying,
you treat so when you have a problem, and you just not everybody can just pick up everything and move. So what you do is you treat your apartment preventatively. You do like what I do when I treat vacation homes. I've got several vacation homes, customers of mine, that I treat every month. I go into their house every month and I treat. And even if there's a renter there, I'll go in and I'll say, hey, do you want me to treat today? I'm the exterminator. I'm here for preventatively for ants and stuff. And most people just let you do it, because it's very rare that a person on vacation wants bugs in their house. They know you're there for a reason. And so I knock and I say, hey, can I treat? And as long as I provide regular pest control for these types of houses, they get bed bugs, but the bed bugs don't live there long. They die before they're able to build up a population, because there's already a chemical in place that if the bed bugs do come in on a luggage bag and they try to go to the baseboard or up around a box spring or something, they die. They can't live. They die. So, and that's really effective.
Yeah,
and it's cheap. It's a lot cheaper and more affordable for the customer too, because you're not having to go in there and tear the beds apart all the time and do a bed bug job. That's expensive. So
exactly, yeah. I was watching one of your videos and you talked about the preventative treatment, and I definitely put that on a list of things I'm gonna do once I can get to this. I'm definitely gonna have.
Well, if you're living in an apartment, it really is a good idea. But see, you don't have to use Crossfire preventatively. I only use Alpine WSG preventatively, because Alpine is a really good chemical. It's really diverse. It kills things other than bed bugs, kills ants and stuff too. And I typically use that, and I have had really good results using that preventatively. And it's cheaper and it's better shelf stable, because it lasts longer in a tank too. You can mix it and it lasts for several weeks, but Crossfire only lasts for 24 hours. So it's one of those things where it will last longer in a tank. You don't have to worry about it, going bad on you overnight. It's much more stable.
Okay. And you said that product. Well, I want to write it down.
What did you ask? It broke up.
The product that you were saying.
Oh, Alpine. Alpine, like trees, Alpine, WSG, water-soluble granule.
WSG, okay, I wrote that down. The only other questions I have for you.
Yeah.
So you said it wouldn't be a bad idea to go ahead and pull the beds off the wall and spray them, and then every 2 weeks. So after I spray these, tomorrow, I'm hoping to do it tomorrow, in the afternoon, sometime around that, I'm going to pull the beds off and spray all the spots that I think he might have missed.
What I meant was I would do it 2 weeks from the day he did it, is what I'm saying. So if he did it last Sunday, 5 days ago, I would wait another week and then do it. That's what I would do. If it were me, that's what I would do.
Yeah, even though we know that he missed behind the the headboard on the bed.
I mean, did he treat your mattress? Did he treat your box spring and stuff too?
He did. He did spray. We took off the bed sheets. We took off the waterproof case.
Yep.
And he did spray my mattress. He did spray the boards under the mattress.
Then I would pull it away from the wall and still give it another week, is what I would do. Because it really should be pulled back away from the wall. It really should be. You shouldn't give bed bugs any other way into the bed except up the bed legs and the bed and the box spring. Because you want to force them into the areas there's a treatment. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking, that they're going to areas that haven't been hit.
Right, but Crossfire is non-repellent. They don't know anything's been sprayed there or not. So, but you're just going to be more likely to drive them there just accidentally. They'll be driven there just because they don't have any other way to get to you. Like if they're down behind the baseboard, they'll come out of the baseboard, they'll crawl up the leg of the bed, and they'll crawl across those slats on those box springs, and they'll get into chemical, they'll die.
Okay, yeah.
But I mean, if you wanted to treat tomorrow, you could. Those spots that you need to do. I'm just trying to save you money. That's all. And try to.
Yeah, see, it is. The crossfire is kind of expensive, and
Yeah, I know it is. It's the most expensive thing that
Yeah.
I use for pesticide. It's the most expensive pesticide I own is Crossfire. So, but it works. It's worth it. It's worth the money if it works, honestly. The amount of money
Yeah.
people pay for bedbug work, it's absolutely worth it to just buy it and have it work. It works. It works really well. So,
okay, I will talk with my family and then see what we're gonna do. If we're gonna wait the 2 weeks or we're gonna do it
hey,
tomorrow.
more power to you. You get it done, and you'll get rid of them.
Hopefully, I'm hoping. The only other thing is, we stripped all the closets. Can we go ahead and move forward and put the clothes back in the closet, or
Yeah.
would you advise against that?
I'd put the clothes back in the closet. I don't even ask people to take stuff out of the closet when I treat. I don't typically
Really?
treat
See,
closets.
we took them all out and
The
washed
only
them
place
and
I
dried
treat
them.
in a
It was
closet,
hassle.
the only places I treat in a closet is around the baseboards. That's it. If I have to treat above head to where it's going to drift down on people's clothes, I don't do it. But it's rare. Now, if I go, let me rephrase. If I go into a house and I find bed bugs living around a closet door, I might say, hey, let's go ahead and take these clothes out of the closet. I'll treat it when it's dry. You can put them back. But that's a rare thing. That's only happened probably in the last 10 years, maybe 3 times. It doesn't happen very often. Most of the time, the bed bugs are living on a nightstand if they're living on furniture other than the bed. It's usually like right there beside the bed. I did find them one time in like a hassock where people were keeping like their blankets, like their winter blankets and stuff at the foot of the bed. But it was still touching the bed. It was right there as an extension of the bed. So it's it's very rare to find bed bugs in a closet. Like I said, unless you've got an extreme case where the bugs are just really bad, it's just not very often. It's very rare, very very rare. And not only that, the bed bugs can't get a blood meal from a t-shirt or a hanging coat, or they're still going to have to come out and bite you. And when they do, they crawl across the bed, they die. So ultimately, the bed bugs are going to gravitate towards the treated surface eventually, even if you don't treat the closet. They're going to come out of the closet. Unless you sleep in the closet, they're not going to be in there. They're going to come out to get to you. And when they do, they die. The eggs hatch in 6 to 10 days. So even with egg hatching, it's not like fleas where they can take up to 21 days to hatch. They hatch in a week to a week and a half. And then the chemical is still effective because Crossfire lasts 30 days. So that's every phase, every life stage of a bed bug will eventually come out within the first month and try to bite you. And then they die. So.
Okay, this is all really good to hear.
Yeah.
For cleaning, now the exterminator that came told us that we are not allowed to wipe down any surfaces that he sprayed. He sprayed the floors, like most of the spots on the floor. He said don't use any cleaning on there because then it'll get rid of the residue that's left.
He sprayed the floor?
You also say that we shouldn't be cleaning. Yeah, he did. He sprayed the floor of the bedroom and also some of the living room.
Well, I mean, sometimes when I lift up a bed, the chemical will drip in the floor, but I don't intentionally go and spray the whole floor. That's overkill. That's not even needed. Bed bugs don't live on the surface of the floor. They live on the furniture. So they're not going to want to be like when you walk through a room and that's an area bed bugs aren't going to be, like in the middle of the floor. Now, if your dog ran through the room and had a flea on him and it jumped off, well, yeah, it'll be in the middle of the floor. Bed bugs don't gravitate to the middle of the floor. They gravitate to furniture. And so they're going to go up the legs. They're going to go up on the beds and stuff. So, I mean, I don't allow the chemical to dry on somebody's floor. I wipe it up. If I drip chemical on somebody's floor by accident and I'm doing a bed bug work, I wipe it up. I clean it up. I don't leave a mess. And I don't spray people's floor. Because it's a waste of chemical. Like I just told you, it's the most expensive thing I own. And it's a waste. The bed bugs are very, very unlikely to ever come into contact with it if it's in the middle of the floor. It's just not going to be effective there. It's a waste.
Okay.
In my opinion. But if it's under a leg of a bed,
for sure.
or it's on, the furniture surface or something like that, well, I would leave it there. I wouldn't wipe it there. And I would be careful how you use bleaches and stuff like that, because bleach will eliminate the chemical residue. So.
Okay. Other than that, I don't think I have any more questions. The only thing I can think of, I asked about the clothes. I asked about the residue and watching that, and the spraying behind.
Right.
Yeah, other than that, I mean, you kind of hit everything. And I absolutely love your videos.
Thank
They
you.
helped a ton because I really did not know what to use. And it's like I said, it's my first time dealing with a pest, so it's, I don't know, just, I hate bugs. I'm not a big fan of them.
If you go to my YouTube channel and you go to the
Yeah.
community tab, and I'm doing this live right now so people in the chat room can see too, the very first post in my community tab is a free link to my course. I don't know when the promotion is ending. I think it's ending in just a couple of days. So anyone that hasn't got that yet, if you get that link, I would recommend you get that because it goes over every single place to treat and not to treat and how to do it and where to do it and everything. I actually filmed myself when I went on vacation doing a mock bedbug job in a house, a rental house that I was renting, and I showed people how to do it. And so I recommend going and watching that course. It's like 38 minutes worth of information. It's everything you need, and you wouldn't even need to watch the YouTube videos at all. You wouldn't have to worry about ads or anything like that. And it's free right now. I gave away 100 free copies. So I would go and get a copy quick if you can.
I'm going to get it after this phone call for sure. I'm going to check out that community tab.
Yep.
Honestly, I might end up, I'll definitely see what I can do about moving the beds up a wall.
Yeah,
Knowing
just
me,
pull them
honestly,
back.
tomorrow
I
I'm
mean,
probably gonna...
you just need to pull them back a couple inches. You just don't want them touching the wall so that the bed bugs. I mean, they're not going to jump like Spider-Man. That's not what they do. They crawl down, they crawl up. That's what they do. So you don't have to worry about it being too far away from the wall. If you've got, I usually tell people 6 inches to a foot, just because if a pillow drops between the bed and the wall, or a blanket were to drop down and touch the wall, that's going to allow the bed bugs away into the bed that is not treated, because you can't treat your covers and then sleep with them. You know, you treat your mattress, you cover it with sheets, you sleep on it that night, but you're not laying in pesticide. You don't want to treat all your covers and your comforters and your sheets and all that stuff. You just treat the mattress. So.
Okay, and I do believe our infestation was a little mild. I think mild to close to heavy, not really.
Mm-hmm. It's at the stage where they will be if you leave them alone for very much longer. That's the problem. You're at that stage where you get to maybe about 3 months, where if you don't start doing something about it now, then you're going to really hate yourself in a few weeks because they're going to be everywhere.
Yeah,
so because if you're seeing them up near the crown, then normally that's a sign that they're starting to get a little out of control. You'll start seeing them in other rooms and stuff like that too, maybe even in the bathrooms and stuff. So.
Oh no, I definitely want to keep them out of there.
Yep. You got to go somewhere to get away.
That's true, yeah. Oh, the only thing that just hit my mind. Now, let's say I wanted to mix half a gallon or half the bottle of the Crossfire.
I don't recommend that.
And
the thing about mixing half and half is you're more likely to make a mistake and mix either under or over what you should for the dosage that it needs to be. It's very, very difficult. Those stupid little 13-ounce bottles don't have a graduated cylinder on the side, so they're very obnoxious if you're going to try to mix less than a gallon. They're really designed to mix a gallon. In fact, they've even I think they even changed the label to state that if you have a 13-ounce bottle, you have to mix it all, or you're not going to be effective getting rid of your bed bugs. So that's just the way it is. I don't recommend trying to cut it. It's 6.5 ounces. It's 6.5 ounces to what, 57 ounces of water or whatever, half an ounce, whatever it is, half a gallon is. That's what it's supposed to be, but that's really difficult to do with one of those little bottles. I mean, I've got some of those little bottles. I know it is difficult to do.
Okay, I definitely won't do it. I was just literally gonna ask if you thought that was smart, but definitely won't be doing that now then.
Yep. Well, you have a really good night. I appreciate you calling.
Thank you. You too.
Hey, no problem. Hey, Mallory, how are you doing? I see you over there chatting, asking questions about bagging stuff. If you want to call me, you can. Nobody's in line. It's first come, first serve until I have to go to bed. I don't recommend vacuum cleaners to kill bugs, Alfie. I agree, Wendy. When you bag up your belongings and the possibility of having bed bugs in your belongings is pretty high, and I don't recommend bagging up anything. Wash your clothes, wash your laundry, dry your laundry, and then bring your stuff and put it back in the drawers where it goes. Because you don't want to reinfest yourself. Crossfire only lasts for 30 days. If you reinfest yourself, you're gonna be upset. You're gonna have to do everything all over again. So I don't recommend bagging laundry or moving the stuff around or really changing any way about what you live, except that you've sprayed your house for bed bugs now. That's really the only difference. So, but anyway, like I was saying to him, you need to go over, if you're in the chat, go to the community tab. It's free, absolutely free. Click this link right here. It'll take you to this website right here. All right, see? Free. There's 2 days left. Only 2 days left. You can have a free copy of this course, My Bedbug Course. It's the #1 course. Bestseller, #1 course. It's got 238 students, 69 ratings. Good number. But anyway, it's only 2 days left. So get a copy free while you can, because I can only run these promotions every so often. I mean, I have to charge because it's on their website. So, they require it. They make money off of my course. And so I'm only allowed to do these promotions every so often. So I recommend, if you want a copy of a really good bedbug course, go get a copy now while you've got the 2 days. Get it now. There's no time like the present. Hello. This is Jason with Green Acres Pest Control.
This is Mallory.
How are you? Hello, Mallory. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm super. I heard you bagged a bunch of stuff up.
Yeah, so it's it's too late as far as that goes. But, I mostly did soft things, but I figure that, I want to unbag it while the crossfire is still working then.
Right, you do.
So when all this happened, I found also, which is just disgusting, that I also had carpet beetles and didn't know it.
Okay. Yeah, but they should die too.
So the crossfire kills them.
Oh yeah, crossfire kills lots of things. It's not for carpet beetles. If the problem with carpet beetles is they can come in your house from outside. Bed bugs come from typically other people or places, but carpet beetles will just come in your house. And so what you do is, if you live in an area where you get carpet beetles, after the crossfire is gone and after you've gotten rid of your bed bug problem, you're going to want to do a pest control treatment for yourself, whether you hire somebody or whether you do it yourself preventatively around your house, just to keep the carpet beetles out, because you could break out from those things too. They are miserable.
Yes. And so my biggest thing is that I'm in an apartment, and so the joining apartment, I'm trying to find points of entry because the person next to me works at a thrift store. And so I'm pretty sure that's where the bed bugs came from. Right. So points of entry would be where the water heater is, and there is an up crawl space. So preventative. I guess I'm just going to have to watch it, or do the crossfire as much as I can.
See, this is why I talk about prevention, is because if you're treating, even with just Alpine, which, like Joe was talking in chat, it's more self-stable, so you could use it, you can mix it, you could keep it for a week or so and then use it again. And so the thing about Alpine, it's cheaper. It's a lot cheaper. You could get a lot more for your money. Okay. And then you can treat, every 2 or 3 weeks or so, just preventatively for yourself. Just go around and treat. And if carpet beetles or bed bugs get in your apartment, they die. Now, I don't recommend doing that unless you've already gotten rid of your bed bugs. Once you get rid of your bed bug problem, then you can start with prevention and trying to keep them out from that point on. Because if the guy's working at a thrift store and they continue to bring bugs in their apartment, If that's where they're coming from, then this is going to be another problem in the future. You're going to continue to have this problem.
Right. And see, okay, so I don't know how long he's worked there. He's also special needs, and so like I don't know if he knows what he's doing, but and I'm not trying to sound discriminatory. I'm just being honest.
No, I understand.
But
Oh, you'd
so
be
we're in an
surprised.
upstairs apartment.
You would be surprised how many perfectly competent, able people spray themselves with pesticide. And I mean,
Well, yeah.
you can't rule out, just saying normal people.
Right.
They do stupid people in general just do stupid things.
Well, when I very first found them, I'm sure I looked like a big idiot too, because I had no idea. I never knew that it was a thing to even look for, and I felt so bad because they nested in my son's bed, and so I just felt awful. But so we're upstairs apartment, and so as far as like even spraying perimeter wise, I don't know how helpful that is.
Oh, it helps. It's actually really helpful. That's really helpful.
Even if it's downstairs.
I do it everywhere. I treat everywhere.
Okay.
When I come into a house, the first thing my customers will look at me and they'll say, "So what are we going to do?" And I said, "As much as you'll let me do. I do as much as you'll let me do. I do everything. I do inside, outside, everything." Because when you're dealing with other bugs like carpet beetles and stuff too, you really need to do everything. You really need to treat as much as you can, because the carpet beetles don't just live in the same places bed bugs live. They do, because typically under beds and places is the dustiest place in the house, and carpet beetle eats dust. Yeah, they like dust. They like hair.
Right, and
they like skin.
They
and
like
stuff like that.
Animal. It's an animal dust bunnies, and I'm like, well, I have a dog and a cat, so that's going to be everywhere.
Absolutely, and they love that stuff, so they'll be all over the house. So you kind of need to treat the baseboards throughout, and they will hide behind baseboards. Carpet beetles love to live behind baseboards.
Yes, I found them under the stove. Like I found their skin under the stove.
Oh yeah, they'll be everywhere.
But see, I don't find the adults, and so I assume they must fly away. I don't know, but
yeah, they do.
I finally
well, they're beetles,
like larvae.
So they become beetles. They become beetles, and then they go outside.
Right. Yeah, I don't see them as often.
A lot of times you'll find the beetles in your windowsill, like they're trying to get outside, almost like they're drawn to the light.
Okay.
And then they'll be in the windowsill, all over the windowsill, and sometimes crawling up the windows and stuff too.
I have found some in the windowsill, but I have not found mutilated clothes, which I've been reading that
they like wool. They got into.
See, and I don't like wool.
Yeah, see, they got into my drawer. My wife likes to wear woolen sweaters, and she has this drawer that's like cedar lined for her wool sweaters. And the carpet beetles got over in her wool sweaters. They didn't care if it was cedar or not. They got in there, got all in her wool sweaters and stuff. And then they found their way over to the bed. We thought we had bed bugs, but it ended up being carpet beetles the whole time. I mean, when I'm going in people's houses, and some of these houses I go into with bed bugs, I mean, they're pretty horrible. I mean, the bugs are almost everywhere, and I always run the risk of bringing them home. My wife is always paranoid I'm going to bring them home, and so it's always in the back of her mind that hey, I've got a bug bite. Did you bring a bed bug home? Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to go to Christmas because of it. Quite honestly, like my sister was terrified that we were going to bring it over, so we had to do Christmas differently this year, and like it was. I mean, I get it, but it was hurtful.
I know, it's rough.
So yeah.
I agree. I had a customer of mine who she actually babysat her daughter's children so that they could get on the school bus and go to a certain school district. So they had used her address. And she got bed bugs. They brought them to her grandma's house. The grandmother got bed bugs. Grandmother looked at her granddaughter and said, "Look, you're going to treat your house or your kids are not going to come here and ride the bus anymore." And that's like tough love, but she had no choice but to kill the bed bugs in her house. And so, I mean, I went.
Well, yeah, you can't treat one house and not the other.
Yeah, exactly, because you're just going to end up getting them again. So.
Yeah, and that's what I was worried about as an apartment, but yeah, I wasn't sure what to do about like putting our lives back together. But I guess that makes sense that I'm gonna need like if something survived inside the bag, which I've been told that they can survive up to a year, that I need to let it out and so it can die.
Right. But I mean, you've got to have your stuff too. You can't just leave your stuff sealed up for a year and not use it. And that's why I tell people use the stuff. Just now, if you take your stuff, you pack it up so that you could do a really good, thorough job. You treat your room and everything, maybe even in your dressers, maybe even your chest of drawers, and you treat all that stuff, let it all dry. There's nothing wrong with taking your clothes back and putting them back in the drawer, especially if they're clean. If you're concerned,
I already sprayed the dresser.
Well, if you're concerned bed bugs might be in your clothing itself, then you can always run them through the dryer. The dryer will kill any live bugs, any eggs in your clothes. And in fact, you could pull the lint trap out of your dryer and find them dead in the lint trap if they're in your clothes.
Yes. And see that the thing is that like since I'm in an apartment, I have to drag my stuff across the way to the laundry room.
Right.
But I mean, like I bagged up like the stuffed animals and stuff because, of course, I mean I panicked. And to me, in my mind, I was thinking head lice. That's what I had experience with was head lice. So you bag stuff up when that's always what I was taught when I had head lice.
Right.
And so that's what I was doing.
Well, that's what a lot of exterminators do too. Exterminators will give people that kind of advice. But the thing is, if you're not using Crossfire, you may need to bag up all your stuff. If you're using something that's a repellent inside this person's house, they may need to bag their stuff up because you have to treat, when you're using a repellent, you have to treat everywhere possible that bed bugs would ever even think of even being. Because if you're treating with a repellent, you're going to repel the bed bugs. You're going to chase them all around everywhere.
You're pushing them.
Yeah, you're pushing them all over the place. So you can't give them anywhere to hide because if they do hide there, they'll die. And that's the goal of using a repellent.
Right.
And a lot of exterminators still do that. But Crossfire is a non-repellent, so you don't treat in the same way with a non-repellent as you do with a repellent. It gives the customer a lot less to have to do. It's a lot easier on you as a person than to have to tear everything down and move everything all around, and it's a big ordeal.
Right.
Or you could do minimal and just use Crossfire, and it works better anyway.
I was told that the people next to us did like the heat treatment stuff, and I'm sure that's the point when they came over here was
right, because anything that happens to be well, see, one of the problems with the heat treatment in an apartment complex is if there are bed bugs in the wall and you heat the surface of that wall up. Now, I've never talked about this before, but if you've got one side of a wall that's really, really hot because the bed bugs are living on that side of the wall, they're not going to sit there and get cooked against the wall. It's going to push them further.
Right. They're coming over here.
Exactly. And if it's not a firewall or something like that that's built different, they're going to come right through the wall and come in around your outlets and stuff like that.
I'm sure that's what happened. I'm sure that's what happened. And I don't know. I don't know about the professionals around here, but before I found you, I was already treating. So like the Crossfire was almost like just my final like make sure they're gone, because I had already like done all the things that I had read about before I found you. And well, except for not doing heat, I didn't do the things that are bad.
Right.
I don't think I did. I mean, I don't know. I can't think of anything I did that was like, oh shit. But let me think. That was the last. Oh, the last part of it, I guess, is cleaning up their mess. So, like where they left their poop and stuff. I mean, the only thing I can do is
steam clean
is scrub it, I assume.
Steam clean and peroxide helps. Because peroxide cleans blood, and that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with dried blood, and so you can clean that up with peroxide, and a steam cleaner works really well. Sometimes just peroxide and a toothbrush will take it out of your fabrics and stuff like that, like on your beds, your mattresses and stuff where they leave their stains and smears. Peroxide will take that out. That's at least what I've heard. I don't stay behind and clean somebody's house for them, but I've had people tell me that they've used it and it worked to clean up the mess that bed bugs.
Well, mine is more.
Or vinegar.
The walls, like, because the mattress, like, quite honestly, threw away. But like they go up into the popcorn of your ceiling, and that's the part that don't like.
Yeah, they can do that, but I mean, if you look up and you see black specks around the popcorn on the ceiling, you know that's where they've been living, and that's going to be really hard to clean because you get that wet, that's going to come down, and then you're going to have a big mess. and it may be better just to leave it
And
there
it-
than to deal with it. But
right. Or the toothbrush, I might be able to do like a gentle, like for at least with some of the spots that are super obvious. But yeah, I never would have thought to even look like I don't know, like before we used to have the mattress encased for like bedwetting and never had any type of problem.
Well, that's what
And then
people
as
are
soon as
saying
we
in
went
chat
to-
right now, that they just steamed cleaned their walls and it came right off, and it worked really well to get the droppings and stuff off the wall. Like I said, I wouldn't recommend doing that
Okay.
on the ceiling because of the popcorn, because that stuff's mainly just paint and plaster mixed together, and it'll just come right down. But because you don't want
Right.
to get that, you don't want to get that stuff wet. You don't want to get it wet at all.
Well, and it wasn't like to the point of being extreme, but you could see where they did start to go up there. And like, I mean, I didn't know, like on some of the spots that they leave on the walls, like if you like pick it off with your nail or whatever, it'll take the paint off the wall.
Right. That's why you need to use something like a cleaner or a cleanser or something like that, because it is dried blood. That's what it is. It's dried blood, fecal matter. That's what it is.
Yeah. It's crazy because some of it I think might be, because some of it looks different. So I think some of it might be from the carpet beetles.
Oh, maybe.
Is that possible?
Oh, yeah, that is possible. Yeah, it's possible.
Okay, because I'm like, a lot of these poops look different. You'd think that they would look the same.
Well,
But-
if they're brown streaks, then usually that's like a stink bug or something like that. But if it is the black little dots, they look like little pinprick dots. Those are usually bed bugs. That's usually bed bugs that do that, and they're black because, like I said, it's dried blood
Well,
stools,
it's-
so it's black.
And if it's like the shape of the bug, then I figured that was where a bug maybe was smashed.
Yeah, that's probably what happened.
Yeah.
Because they do
'Cause,
leave
like, in the
blood
door
smears
frame.
everywhere you squish them. They're
Right,
gross. They're
like
just
on the door
gross. No
frame.
matter which way you cut it, they're just gross.
Yeah. I itch. Now I itch.
I started
yeah,
itching when you
but
started talking about lice, so we're even.
Yes. Yes, it's very bad, very bad. So my last question, the alpine stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not something that I'm going to have an issue with ordering, and I'm in Idaho.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Every state's becoming just a moron now. I have no idea. The only thing I could do is tell you that it's not illegal for you to have it. It's not illegal. The thing is that unless it's a restricted use pesticide, and unless your state specifically says we are restricting this pesticide, you are not allowed to buy it, then you can buy it. Even states like New York and stuff that say that you can't order Crossfire there, it's not illegal for people to own it. It's just illegal for companies to ship it to New York. So people will get it out of state and bring it in, and it's not illegal for them to have it. It's not against the law for them to have it because it's not restricted. It's just the state is restricting what is shipped in and what is shipped out.
I feel like that's like a liberal state thing, maybe. I don't feel like Idaho will restrict that.
It has a lot to do. So the problem is not really so much politics. It's that the political powers that be don't understand the difference in pesticides. So it's easy for them to say, we're going to ban all neonicotinoid pesticides from our state, which means that pest control technicians can still use them, but we don't want the homeowner to be able to buy them. Well, a neonic kills honeybees.
Right.
And so they don't want to kill honeybees, but the thing is Crossfire is not even used outside. Yes, it's a neonicotinoid and it's very toxic to bees. I don't recommend using it outside at all, but why would you? It's so damn expensive. You're only going to buy it for bed bugs. You're not going to use it outside. But they don't differentiate. They just ban an entire family of pesticides. So in states you can't get Crossfire, you can't get Temperate, you can't get Crossfire, you can't get Alpine. They're all neonicotinoids. So you can't buy any of those in that state. It's easier for them to pass a blanket law that covers all of those pesticides rather than say, okay, all those pesticides, but this one. This one we're going to allow.
Okay.
They can't do that. They just ban them all. And because they're idiots. Because they're politicians, and that's how they are. We don't pay politicians to be smart. Because it's obvious we don't. It's obvious we don't because they're not.
That seems pretty ass backwards, but Well, I mean, it makes sense that like there's fertilizer used to put in methamphetamine and stuff, and that I wouldn't even know where to begin with that. But
Oh, well, you can't
I
even go
guess
to
that makes sense
CVS
for
and
regulating
order.
it.
You can't even go to CVS and buy Sudafed if you have a cold, unless you're willing to sign
Right.
over your entire life, because you might
You
get
give
crystal
over your
meth.
license
And
and
really, I just want to breathe tonight. You know.
right, and they look at you funny like you're trying to sell it to
Oh yeah, like I'm
Joe
trying
Blow
to sell
and
my, and I'm there with red eyes and a stuffed up nose, and they're looking
yeah.
at me
So you
like
hear
I'm
I'm
gonna.
congested.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. But anyway, well, thank you very much, and I
No
hope
problem.
that someone else got some info out of all these questions
You
too.
have a really
So
great evening. I appreciate you calling.
you too. Thank
All
you.
right. Bye. All right, so I'm headed to bed. It's late. I took that last call, but I'm going to go ahead and turn off the phones for the night, and I am going to head to bed because I am exhausted. My 1-year-old, Finley, he has been keeping me up at night. He has been fussy. He has been irritable. He has not wanted to sleep. And so I have got to try to keep every minute that I can when I'm trying to work, make a living. So I'm going to head on to bed. So y'all have a real great night. I appreciate it. And if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you really like it, consider subscribing to the channel. Consider joining my channel. All kinds of perks and stuff you get when you join. But y'all have a great night. I don't really do a whole lot of self-promotion. But I do recommend that if you have a chance, that you really should go click the link below. And in fact, I'll click the coupon code in the chat right now. I really think you guys should go and get a copy of my course free while you can. There's only 2 days left. It's free. So y'all have a great night. Appreciate it. And I will talk to you next time. Thank you very much. And good night.